Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have a miscommunication from Wargaming. Well, not really sure if you would call it a miscommunication or a just goof up. A miscommunication in my mind, which Wargaming's had its fair share of that in the past, right? They've gotten quite a bit better at it recently, but it's when something is said or typed up and it miscommunicates the information to you. Like it doesn't explain it clearly enough, or it really meant this, but it was worded so poorly it sounded like that. This is more of a goof up because the information was just outright incorrect, right? So, what are we talking about? Well, if you were one of the players that perused through the update article and the ranked article that was published with, of course, the update, you will have noted that this ranked season is taking place at Tier 6, Tier 8, and Tier 10 at the Bronze, Silver, and Gold League, respectively, in a 6v6 format at all leagues. Now, the thing is that the Silver League and the Gold League, the limitations on carriers and submarines were 0. You can have neither a carrier or a sub in the Silver and in the Gold Leagues, which made a lot of players quite happy because, well, if you're getting tired of dealing with CVs and subs and and randoms, you could pop on over to ranked and escape them for that time. And plus, they've been allowed in previous seasons, and it's like, oh, okay, we're finally getting a break from them in what is one of the most frustrating game modes. I'm sure if you've not seen my ranked videos, you've seen other YouTubers or other Twitch streamers' streams of trying to get through ranked, and it is an absolute slog because despite it being ranked, for some reason, your teammates are just not really teammating, right? So you gotta do all the heavy lifting yourself in most cases. And then when you throw an aggravating class like the submarines, or in my opinion, outright broken class in a 6v6 game mode like CVs into the mix, it doesn't make it any better. So many players rightfully thought that, hey, look, outside of Bronze League, we ain't gotta deal with CVs or subs anymore. However, those players were quite surprised that when they did get into the Silver and the Gold Leagues, lo and behold, there were CVs there. Because the update article and the ranked article were, well, incorrect. They stated the opposite of what was allowed. And if you, just peruse the response to Wargaming's correction, you can see that, needless to say, this is an incredibly unpopular, move by Wargaming. Why? Because, well, it's not like, again, CVs and subs haven't been in ranked. It's just that it definitely highlights the problem of the balancing of these two classes. CVs are, and they've been stated time and time and time again by Wargaming, that CVs are meant to be a class of one in a 12-person team. That's just how they're designed. That's how their plane regeneration rates are determined. How much AA do they have to deal with in a normal 12v12 setting, especially at their tier. That's how, again, they're just balanced around this concept of it's a class of one in a 12v12 setting. That's how all their statistics are determined, and they've stated as much quite a few times from someone that's been playing this game for 7 years. And when you give a player the power that CVs have in a 6v6 competitive setting, that's just inherently busted. Because the ship is designed to have one flight of planes up with 12 other ships on the field. And in ranked, this time especially, you have half of that amount. It's a much smaller format, there's less ships, but the plane's HP, the plane's regeneration rate, the amount of munitions they carry, and the amount of munitions they can deliver in each strike, that's all tuned for a 12v12 setting. So if you're a halfway decent carrier player, it's really not much to just hop into your strongest CV and then just brute force your way into Gold League. It's what many a player does when they're just, tired of being the one that's getting kicked to death by the CV. And again, think about all the times you've played ranked, if you're a ranked player, and you've had to have, again, done the heavy lifting by yourself. That's, again, most cases, it seems, when we're playing, right? And now throw a CV on the enemy team if there wasn't one already there. One that just knows what they're doing. They can just keep sending planes to you and kick you to death. Especially at like tier 6. Tier 6, I mean, like, we're still dealing with a lot of like World War One ships that have either been refitted or are still in their World War One configuration at tier 6, where naval aviation wasn't really even a thing yet, right? So these ships naturally don't have a lot of AA, if any at all. Well, at tier 6, most ships, they do use, like, again, a refit that has some AA, but it's not great, right? So imagine having to deal with that. That's what players have to go through in tier 6 and in a Bronze League right now. And then tier 8 and tier 10, of course, tier 8 and tier 10 AA is a bit stronger. But I mean, like, AA today really is just like either got it or you don't, you know? So unless you're playing a Wooster or a Minotaur in ranked, which I can see a Minotaur, but a Wooster, not so much about that in ranked. You're not really going to be able to stand up to a CV by yourself. I mean, think about in random battles. How often are you and a group of players together and a CV just comes in with their planes and simply doesn't care about your AA, and now, well, you're dead. So yeah. But again, this isn't a new thing. Like, they've been allowed in ranked for quite a few seasons in the past. But it just brings the issue back up about how these ships aren't well balanced for this mode. And, I mean, shoot, the carriers and submarines are still not allowed in clan battles because that's another competitive setting. And I do think if they would be allowed back into clan battles, that would probably be it. I mean, clan battles, the health is just, it's just not healthy right now. It's on the decline for sure. So that's probably really the only reason they haven't brought them back there. Now, submarines, in my opinion, that's a bit of a different story, because submarines, they are designed to be a class of 2 in a 12v12 game mode, but not really because they have a lot of battlefield impact, just because they're annoying, and they do take a lot of HP and a lot of surface action out of the game when you're replacing, 2 surface ships with 2 submarines, and that's more so why they're not allowed, usually more than 2 per side. And throwing them into ranked, it's like, I mean, really, if you have 2 ships that are coordinating their depth charge strikes on where the submarine was spotted, if he slips up, guy's probably dead, right? But of course, a good submarine player can definitely make a big impact, especially in a small game mode like ranked, right? So those, as much as I don't like subs and as annoying as they are, I'm more okay with that being in ranked than CVs, because again, like the spotting CVs provide, the ability to be on the other side of the map in 30 seconds, especially on the smaller scale maps that you get with ranked. Yeah, that's a bit more of an issue than subs in ranked, in my opinion, at least. But on the flip side, too, I can definitely understand the argument that, hey, look, and this is what Wargaming says, too, we want all classes to be able to participate in all game modes. And from, like, a game design side of things, yeah, you want all players that enjoy playing all these different ship classes to be able to play them in your different game modes. I mean, despite popular belief, there are players that like playing CVs. There are players that like playing submarines. They're out there. And, I can definitely understand the argument of, hey, I like playing subs. I like being sneaky. I like being stealthy. I like that. And I want to be able to play my favorite ship type in ranked. I can understand that. CVs too. I like playing CVs. I like the tactical power that you have in ranked. I like being the eyes for the team. I like being, in randoms. I like being the eyes for the team. I like being, because naval aviation was a very big part of World War II and of the time era that World Warships is based around, right? So I could understand the argument that, we should be able to allow these things in ranked, but they're just not balanced for that yet. And really the only thing I could think of to make them balanced is to have one set of planes for random battles and one set of planes and parameters for those planes for ranked. That's really the only way you can make them more balanced, in my opinion, for this mode. Or you just give surface ship AA a buff in rank. You increase the damage they do maybe by double, since you have half the amount of surface ships there to help you deal with the planes than in random battles. I think that could potentially be a fix for it. But yeah, so this whole situation just brought up this sore spot with the community. I thought it'd be an interesting topic to revisit today, with submarines being out in full force and carriers, new carrier lines coming out, with the American support CVs having just been released in early access with this most recent patch. I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents out there and let you guys know what's going on with this. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this situation and all this jazz. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Saturday and wonderful rest of your weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.